virtual culinary exploration. My name is Keith Mattel, Executive Chef, Eddy Village Green, Cohoes, New York. I've worked there since 2004. It's been a great experience. I enjoy working there very much. Our elders are fantastic. I've been cooking for about 30 years, give or take. Started from dishwasher, have gone up since then, obviously. I worked for a gentleman in about 1990, Ernie Royals Hearthside, Rutland, Vermont. He was the first black man to own a restaurant in Rutland, Vermont, or in Vermont in general. He was also the first black man to join the National Restaurant Association. He opened his restaurant in 1963. It's the same year Dr. Luther King did his I Have a Dream speech. He was a fantastic person to work for. I learned a great deal from him. One of the best things about working there was it was an open hearth. It was good because I got to work in front of people. Today we're going to be doing oats. Oats are great for you. They contain magnesium and other minerals. Helps fight with obesity because it sticks to your ribs. It's one of those things, especially if you eat oatmeal and stuff in the morning. I chose to do a pasta today, just trying to change it up. Everybody's used to oats, and they think of hot cereal in the morning or granola, that kind of thing. Today we're going to make an oat pasta, just to kind of change it up a little bit. The differences between oat pasta and a regular pasta that you would normally have, refined pasta, anytime you work with something, transform it, you end up losing a lot of the ingredients, a lot of the nutritional value, that kind of stuff. Oat flour is gluten-free. It's a good thing, especially with our clientele. We have lots of people that are gluten-free, especially coming up, the baby boomers and whatnot. Let's cook. All right, we're going to start today with oat flour. I've portioned out 2 cups, so we're just going to put that right in the center. Then I'm going to add salt, about 2 teaspoons. We're just going to kind of mix that in a little bit. We're going to make a little mound for our eggs and our water. We have 2 large eggs. We're going to put those right in the center. Then we're going to put our oil. We got about 2 tablespoons of oil. Then we're going to start mixing that. So we're going to mix it with a fork. We're just going to start stirring it. We're going to start getting the edges of the flour and the eggs going together. This only takes a couple minutes. There's a bunch of different ways you can make pasta. You can make it in a Cuisinart if you want to. I chose to do it this way just so we could kind of, a lot of people don't make pasta anymore, so it's a fun thing to do. So I'm going to add a little bit of water. When I made this, it takes about 3 tablespoons of water for our purposes with this. So we're just going to keep mixing. What you want to do is just kind of get it incorporated. Once it's incorporated, let's see. Yeah, get in there with my hands. That's the fun part about cooking. You get in there with your hands, right? So we're going to start getting the rest of the flour incorporated. Normally when I'm making pasta, I try and keep a little bit of oat flour or whatever pasta or flour I'm using off to the side because I'm going to use that to when I'm starting to roll it out. So we're just going to kind of fold it. Work it with your heel of your hand, a couple minutes. This recipe will make about 1 pound of pasta, roughly. If you notice your pasta is really dry, you can always add more water depending on what you've got. This one seems a little dry, so I'm actually going to add a little bit more water. Oops. Get it all incorporated. Normally when you make pasta, you would let it rest for a little while, probably about half an hour, hour. You can make fresh pasta probably close to a day ahead. You want to be careful of making it too far ahead, especially if you're using white flour. It can turn like greenish gray. So you want to be careful with that. So we are in good shape. It's coming together pretty good. Basically, you want to make a little ball. We're going to go like that. Pretty easy. All right. So we're going to take a little bit of flour, more of the oat flour. I'm just going to sprinkle a little bit on the board here. And I'm going to grab my rolling pin right here. And we're going to put our pasta right in the center. I'm going to start pressing it out a little bit by hand. I'm not using a pasta roller. I'm just going to use a regular rolling pin. It's what we normally have. It's what I have at my house. It's probably what you have at your house. Much easier than dealing with pasta machines, in my opinion. So we're just going to roll it out. This can be whatever thickness you want for the most part. I'm going to roll it pretty thin. With the oat flour, it doesn't have the gluten in it, so it's going to want to fall apart on you. So you got to be very gentle when you're rolling it, and also when you're starting to move it around. Once I get it rolled out and cut, I would normally let it dry for about half an hour, something like that, just so it can start to dry out a little bit. You want to roll it out to about 8 to 10 inches. For our purposes, we're going to make a spaghettini today. It's going to be fairly thin. Nothing too crazy. So roll it like that. So once you get it rolled out, I'm just going to take a pizza cutter. Simple. Everybody's normally got a pizza cutter. We make pizza all the time at home. So you're just going to slowly cut it into your little shapes. So we're just going to slice it. If you wanted to make fettuccine, stuff like that, you certainly can. If you wanted to make like a cavatelli, any other kind of pasta, you certainly can. So we're just going to slice it. Once I get it all done, my slices aren't perfect. We're not perfect in general, so it's all right. Makes it, you know, everybody will know it's fresh. You made it, so that's a good thing. So this will make about a pound of pasta. Back to cooking. So we're going to take our pasta we just made. We're going to put it into some boiling salted water. So I'm going to 4 ounces or so. Just put it in the water. With this, you don't want to move it around too much because the oat flour, the oat pasta will fall apart basically. So you want to be gentle with it. So then we're going to start our vegetables. We got a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. We're going to add to a hot saute pan. About a tablespoon or two. We get that moving around a little bit. Then we're going to take our carrots and put those into our pan. Then we're going to take some leeks and add those to the pan. I'm going to saute those up for just a couple of minutes. The vegetables we chose for this dish are all seasonal. The baby carrots, the leeks, bok choy, and asparagus. We're trying to stay as seasonal as possible if we can. These you want to be very gentle with as well. The carrots may fall apart if you overcook them. I didn't add a lot of ingredients to this. I wanted to keep it pretty clean. So about the only thing in it is a little bit of garlic, white wine, salt and pepper. Turn this down a little bit, I'm going crazy. So I'm going to let that go, then I'm going to add bok choy. I love the way rustic vegetables, they kind of wonky cut based on your look on your pasta. Asparagus. I'm going to get a little bit of caramelization going with the carrots. You get a little bit of the natural sugars out of them. These can pretty much be as cooked as you want them to be, I suppose. A good thing would be once the carrots get a little bit soft, they should be okay. Depending on the diets in your facility, if you're going into grounded purees, that kind of thing, you might want to cook them a little bit longer, just to get your consistency proper. So once these are sauteed pretty good, I'm going to add a little bit of diced garlic, about a tablespoon or so. Get that mixed around. As you can see, we're starting to get a little bit of color going on in the pan, some of the veggies. Then we're going to deglaze with a little white wine. We're going to put that in. You hear a good sizzle once you get that in the pan. This is good. Just want to be careful not to burn your garlic. If you know, realizing your veggies are getting a little bit dry, you take a little bit of water, just from your pasta can, to make a little bit of sauce in there with that. Let's see, we'll go back to the pasta. This is cooking right away. This will plump up. If you haven't done a lot with fresh pasta, as you're cooking fresh pasta, plumps up, kind of like your dry stuff. You just want to be careful with it. Pasta's probably done, so we're going to strain it. We've strained our pasta and just set it in the bowl. So we're getting ready to plate. So we're going to put that on our plate. Then we're going to take our veggies that we just sauteed. We're going to kind of organize them on the plate, make it look nice. So that's our pasta with the vegetables. Then I took some regular oats, same thing you would get for your breakfast in the morning. Toasted them in the oven, about 350 for about 5-10 minutes, just enough to get a little brownness on them. When you cook oats, they get a little nutty. That's why we use them a lot with granola. I'm hoping it's going to enhance the pasta dish itself. So we're going to use that as one of our seasoning components of the dish. So we're just going to take some of those and sprinkle them over the top. And then a little bit of salt and pepper. Not a lot, just a little bit. So there's our rustic oat pasta with sauteed seasonal vegetables. Coming to a community soon. We hope you enjoy. Thank you.